When your husband talks excitedly about something on a Friday night and it has nothing to do with you, you have to pay attention. This time it was DeepSeek Harness, and it blew his mind. He hadn't even tried Harness yet. What got him was the promised bird inside a paper with what Claude would call a load-bearing title, a programming paradigm for spatial-temporal composability. It is load-bearing, so I had to dive in. I started with Harness, actually, which was super easy to install. I used Cordis for that. Then moved to the paper and oh my god, this combo blew my mind too. Welcome to Attention Span by Turing Post. I'm Ksenia. DeepSeek says everything is a plugin. Let me explain why that could be one of the most consequential ideas in coding agents right now. Attention span. And I'm telling you this because you guys are missing out. For the bigger AI labs, it is even worse. They are watching another piece of their moat disappear while most people are still debating whether Harness is simply DeepSeek's answer to Claude Code. No. DeepSeek has a habit. It takes a layer that the rest of the industry is beginning to treat as expensive and proprietary, publishes a capable version, and moves the argument down one level. Its models forced everyone to discuss how much intelligence should cost. Do you remember this DeepSeek moment? DeepSeek Harness forces us to ask what a coding assistant even is and which parts of it deserve to remain a product. The repository is already a phenomenon. As I'm recording this, DeepSeek Harness has more than 147,000 stars and 15,000 forks on GitHub. By the time you watch this, that number will probably be higher. It is open source under the MIT license. You can start it with one command and connect DeepSeek or another model provider or a self-hosted endpoint. It already includes tools, sessions, storage, a sandbox, an agent loop, and a web interface. The GitHub explosion is the visible story. Underneath it, DeepSeek released the assistant while its architecture was open enough for everyone to inspect, modify, and copy. Then it released the paper explaining the deeper bet. The paper's repository has around 2,000 stars. The crowd has clearly chosen the object with the buttons, but the paper may be the even more important release. So let's discuss first, what is a harness? A model produces tokens. On its own, it does not search your repository, decide which files to open, run a command, remember the result, ask for permission, or try again when the tests fail. All of that comes from the harness. It decides what enters the context, which tools are available, what gets stored, and when the model receives another turn. Put the same model inside two harnesses, and you can get two different assistants. We spend so much time comparing models that we often treat the surrounding system as just packaging. DeepSeek is treating it as the architecture. In Harness, the model adapter, tool registry, session log, storage, scheduling, sandbox policy, agent loop, and even the web interface all follow the same plugin grammar. DeepSeek calls it everything is a plugin, and engineers can be generous with the word everything. So I checked. There is still a small Cordis kernel underneath, followed by Node, the operating system, and the hardware. Everything means nearly every product capability above that kernel, and that's huge. The model is no longer the sun with fixed features orbiting it. It is one replaceable service inside a live system of replaceable services. And then DeepSeek adds Creator mode. The assistant can build a missing piece of itself. Creator lets the agent inspect the running environment, define a temporary package, ask you to start it, stop it later, and forget it. That may sound modest until you realize that the task can begin before the right tool exists. Suppose the agent is reviewing a database migration and cannot compare two versions of the schema. In a conventional assistant, a developer has to build and integrate an extension. In Harness, the agent can write a temporary plugin for that comparison. You approve it, and the new tool joins the running assistant. The running assistant. It could also register a service or add a temporary panel to the interface. The model has not been retrained. Nobody shipped a new version. The working environment grew a new capability after the task had already begun. This is the point where a coding agent stops searching only for a solution and begins searching over the composition of the worker that will find the solution. Let me slow down before this begins to sound like self-improving agent fanfiction. These packages live only in process memory and disappear when Harness restarts. They cannot promote themselves into permanent plugins, and the person still has to start them. DeepSeek also says that Creator Sandbox is not a security boundary. Treat this access much like shell access. So Harness is not waking up at night, redesigning itself, and returning smarter before you got your coffee. So don't be worried that Harness will suddenly wake up at night and redesign itself and return smarter. Maybe you wish for it, but it's not yet the case. What DeepSeek has built is the beginning of that loop. An agent can propose a change to its own toolbox, and the running system knows how to absorb it. Creating the plugin is the easy part. Removing it is where the paper begins. Imagine our schema plugin registers a command, starts a timer, and provides a service that another plugin uses. Remove it, and the command may disappear while the timer keeps running. The dependent plugin may lose what it needs to shut down. The experiment was removed, but some of its state remains. Software has a very traditional solution to this problem. Restart the whole application and hope everything comes back. Cordis is designed to make the smaller operation possible. Cordis is the open source plugin runtime underneath DeepSeek Harness. The paper calls the first half temporal composability. Every change should come with an inverse. If a component registers a listener, Cordis records how to unregister it. If it starts a timer, Cordis reports how to stop it. When the component leaves, those effects unwind in reverse order. The second half is spatial composability. If one plugin provides a service that another needs, the dependent plugin shuts down first while it can still access the service. Only then does the provider disappear. The paper then asks whether these local rules can guarantee something about the whole running system, even as components appear and disappear. The result is called confluence. Imagine one system loads A, adds B, experiments with C, removes C, and restores A. Another simply loads the final A and B from scratch. Under the paper's conditions, once both systems settle, their observable state should be equivalent. The final system depends on the components that remain, rather than every detour it took to get there. And the deep idea is that a live system can experiment without making every detour permanent history. The guarantees have boundaries. Plugin authors must provide correct inverses. The strongest results assume successful execution, sufficiently independent effects, and dependencies without cycles. The formal model also simplifies some features in the implementation. And Cordis can remove the plugin that sent an email. It cannot remove the email from somebody's inbox. Almost nobody is leading with this. Cordis was not a DeepSeek invention. It came out of the Koishi ecosystem, and Koishi is an open-source chatbot framework created by Shigma, who also created Cordis and named after Komeji Koishi, a character from Touhou project. Over 4 years, more than 4,000 community-contributed plugins pushed the runtime through real dependencies, hot reloads, failures, and cleanup problems. DeepSeek recognized what was sitting there. It adopted Cordis for Harness, and researchers from Peking University and DeepSeek built a formal programming language theory around it. Reversible effects, reactive dependencies, ordered shutdown, and confluence. The ingredients have precedence in effect systems, dependency injection, hot reloading, and dynamic service frameworks. The novelty is the package, and the attempt to prove the local discipline can produce a stable global result. This makes the story even more interesting. The harness layer was never proprietary. It was sitting in open source inside a chatbot plugin ecosystem, waiting for somebody to recognize what it could become. My husband suggested that this might be a Smalltalk moment. He has a point. Smalltalk rebuilt an entire computing environment around one grammar. Everything is an object, and objects communicate through messages. It made software alive and malleable. Smalltalk, which happened in the late 70s and early 80s, itself stayed niche, but its ideas escaped and colonized personal computing. Harness also carries a little bit of Unix. Unix's everything is a file gave very different things a shared interface, which made simple tools composable. And the Cordis paper reminds me of Code's relational model, an attempt to put formal rules underneath something the industry treated as plumbing. Code's original vision was diluted into SQL, yet the abstraction reorganized databases. These histories suggest the same possibility. The original system does not need to win for its grammar to spread. Alan Kay later said that messaging was the larger Smalltalk idea. Objects were the memorable noun, so plugin might be the memorable noun here. But the deeper proposal is a common life cycle for capabilities. What they need, what they change, and how they leave. Smalltalk was software recognizing abundant hardware. Harness might be software recognizing abundant generated code. And that brings me to a sentence from Sholto Douglas from Anthropic. Recently, Sholto Douglas wrote, "If it all works out, we'll succeed in reducing the cost of everything to the cost of energy." It has nothing to do with Harness from DeepSeek. This sentence came from an argument about competition and moats. As machine intelligence gets cheaper, companies lose control of capabilities they once packaged and sold. But with Harness, with DeepSeek Harness, it was the first time I could see an architecture for that claim. It really felt like it should be the price of electricity. Traditional software stores capability inside products. Teams build features in advance, maintain them, and sell access. Harness treats capability as something generated when needed. Describe the task, spend inference, create the plugin, use it, and remove it. Software does not become free, but the path from I need a tool to the tool is running begins to look like metered computation. This is why the electrical socket is also another useful analogy. A common socket separated appliance makers from power providers. Once the interface was standardized, many different appliances could draw from the same grid. In Harness, inference is the grid, the plugin interface is the socket, and the generated tool is the appliance. The assistant no longer needs every possible capability built into it. This architecture by DeepSeek is still a proposal, not a standard. It has one principal implementation and no broad cross-vendor adoption. Open code gives other builders something to copy, but it does not guarantee convergence. Factory electrification offers a warning. Early factories replaced the steam engine with a central electric motor while keeping the old shafts and belts. The larger gains arrived only after factories were redesigned around smaller motors attached to individual machines. Most coding assistants still resemble those early factories. A powerful central model drives a fixed collection of tools. Harness asks how the assistant changes once each task can produce its own temporary capability. That is DeepSeek's strategic move. It is trying to commoditize the harness layer before the big labs can turn it into another mode. If the approach spreads, competition shifts from shipping the riches, collection of built-in features to providing the runtime that can generate, absorb, and safely remove the right capability. Harness does not have to dominate for that idea to win. An agent that can recompose itself may simply become what we expect an agent to be. The self-evolving loop is not yet complete, but the astonishing part is how close it suddenly looks. DeepSeek has torn up reality for the big labs again, and the majority of people still sleeping on it. While other companies, other big labs spend millions acquiring harness companies, DeepSeek just open-sourced one for everyone, everywhere, for free. And it's, in my opinion, super capable, super easy to install harness that works with different models and can write its own tools while it runs. I have no idea what the labs do once people realize that the layer they were preparing to turn into a mode is now a GitHub repository. When a coding agent can build the part it is missing, what exactly is a product anymore. Tell me what you think in the comments. Tell me if you used Harness from DeepSeek and what do you think? I'm using it right now. I've been using it to prepare, to research this episode, and oh my God, it's fast. And oh my God, it's cheap. Thank you for watching Attention Span by Turing Post. I'll see you next week. Don't forget to help us grow.